So my name is Aseem Jain, and on this tutorial lecture of MongoDB we are going to learn how object ID or underscore ID is created. What is the logic, what is the algorithm behind it. So in MongoDB it provides a unique identifier for each document, and the MongoDB company claims that no two documents in this entire universe could be same, and there is a teeny tiny possibility of that, but that's next to impossible. And why though they have such confidence is we'll just learn how that works. So object ID is a function which is a JavaScript function which is provided only in the Mongo shell. It's not outside. So first we will validate their claim, why they are saying this and is it true. So we would go and we would do some, we are able to create objects and anything, right? So we are going to say object ID, and here is your function, and you get a problem that object ID is not here. But when same thing you try to run over here, let's try and do that. And it is valid. As soon as you call this, it gives you some kind of hexadecimal string. Hexadecimal, which is having numbers from 0 to 9 and alphabets from E to F. So let's try to figure out that what this number really means. So we have observed that all the Mongo document, each document has an identifier which is called as underscore ID. In JavaScript, anything which is having underscore, that means it's a private. So anything which is followed by underscore, that variable name, it is a private. So it's a field underscore ID which is unique, and based on this field you can retrieve any document. Two documents can look similar but they would have different object ID. So this is a 12-byte object ID code which consists of 4 bytes are value representing the seconds since Unix epoch. So this would be your time, whatever the time, and then this would be machine identifier. In my case, it could be the MAC address. It would be the MAC address. 2 bytes would be the process ID. So in my computer, whatever things I run, they run in different ID. So or in different process ID. So each machine, each process would have different processes ID. So it's very rare that in two random machines the process ID could be similar, and machine identifier has to be different all over the world. So it's a combination of these two things which are totally different, and then this is the Unix epoch representing the time, whatever time I am generating in microseconds, basically the timestamp. So time keeps increasing. So last time whatever I generated, my machine identifier is going to be same. It's not going to change. Process ID might change, might get same, but the time it is always increasing. Whatever it is, after a few seconds it would be different. So this would, every second it is going to be different, every microsecond it is going to be different. So these three things are really kind of unique or non-duplicating combined together, and to make it more randomized they use their last 3 bytes as any random value. So these is the combination where all these four gets mixed up. It generates one hex code, and that hex code is the identifier for the document, which is unique across universal platform stuff like universal thing. So we will now see how it works. So whenever we are trying to create any document, let's say I do a db dot test collection dot insert. So this is how insert would work, but insert needs a valid JSON document, and if you put nothing but this is a valid JSON object. So as soon as you create the object inside it creates the underscore ID, and then once you do the find, you see this the underscore ID, and this has been created. You will try to generate another document, and then we would see, and both are little bit, you know, from here till here they are same, but after that it generated different. So for each document it generates a unique identifier, and that is unique across all my collections in my machine versus all the collections anywhere in the world.